Hey, welcome back to the table. I spent, oh gosh, at least 3 hours trying to solve this camera issue. I think I got it. I don't know. If I haven't figured it out, then it means I need to start reducing the quality of the video because one of my clues was that when I went back to one camera, it worked. So we'll see. So this is working, as you can see, and so is this. So we'll give it a try. Um, All right, so we're starting week 2, and at the beginning of every week we draw one of these. And I would have really liked the one where we get to subtract stress. Do not perform operational move rolls. So this is actually really good. Um, so do not perform operational move rolls means that the enemy battalions aren't going to move towards us. So we can get rid of that one battalion that's harassing us and causing us to lose 2 SO points, and then let's get rid of a battalion that causes us to have to discard a tactic. So which one should we do first? I think we should try to get rid of the one that. So I'm going to use the same exact teams. That's the first thing I think I want to get across. Uh, so I have here on my table, just a tad outside of the camera range, basically 2 teams of 5. One is with an artillery, 105 millimeter, and a rifleman unit. The other one is with an 88 instead of an artillery, and it has a Panzer II, which is just as crappy as a rifleman unit. The rifleman unit only costs 3 points, and I really think that the strategy to this game is to send those little 3-pointer dudes out front to basically take all the damage. They're your fodder. This is World War II. Let them take the casualties. Sorry, I was getting a drink there. Let them take the casualties, and then you can hit them with your better stuff in the back. It's a bit boring, if you ask me, but I think that's what you're supposed to do. And excuse me. The next thing is errata. There was one mistake I made. When I place the enemy, their infantry gets to advance twice, and I only advanced them once, I believe. And somebody caught that, and I think that was a good catch because I don't recall advancing them twice. So if that's something you noticed, then gold star for you for catching it. And let's go ahead and go. I'm going to do this in the same order as last time. So, well, let's look at the two things. We need to get rid of one of these guys, right? So this makes us discard a tactic, right? We got to get rid of that because we actually have a unit that has tactics. And then we want to eventually upgrade to our recon unit, which lets us have command tactics. So that way we can go fast and slow. And if our Panther can go fast and slow, holy cow, do you see how important that is to have a Panther that can do that? So at the end of, and by the way, off camera, I did do this. We're supposed to advance one non-fixed battalion. I did do that. I advanced one of the ones that was way in the back. It was a support battalion. And I think the one I advanced was exactly this one here, 8C. I made it so he's on the front line now. I'm sorry, he's on the enemy transit, so he doesn't cost as much to attack. So that was me using big brain tactics there. And so this is another one that's exactly the same as this one. And I apologize. Yeah, I still have an infected finger there. I know it's nasty. Look at that. Ugh. All right, so it's all good for the camera, right? Okay, so yes, they're both forcing me to discard a tactic. So I have one unit that actually starts the game or battle with 2 tactics, and I lose both of them because of these 2 jerks. So I need to take out one of them. I think the one on the right is a little bit stronger than the one on the left. So, maybe we go after that one with, you could see it's got 4 armor hard targets and 4 soft. The 17A has 6 hard targets and 2 soft. Actually, to be honest, that's 8 hard targets, no soft. The one on the left. So we may want to, because it's called Armored Assault, I guess that makes sense. And then the guy who's up front is 13A. So let me grab that one. This guy is just, he advanced enough. He's not really a threat other than he advanced so much that he's causing us to lose 2 SO points because of where he's at. And for him, the battle just lasts 1 fewer turn. And you can see there that that's, let's see, 4 half tracks, which are armored, and then 2, 4, 6 soft targets. Okay? So the one unit that we have with the 88, we're going to use that, and we're going to take out this armored assault. So let's take out this guy. And I think we don't want to lose the 2 SO points. So we got to go after 13A, which means that we're going to have to let this guy live for another day, because I don't think we can take out all 3. Like I said, we really, really want to get these done so we can start using our tactics. But we can at least kill one of them and at least get one of our 2 tactics. How about that? And the unit that has the tactics won't be on this mission. We're going to do the same order that we did last time. So the group that had the 88 with it is going to go up against this one. All right, so with that said, let's draw our tiles. And I'm going to cut in half again. And here we go. So we got this bunker. Holy cow, what a... So it's a bunker that has barbed wire. The bunker has light. It has a barbed wire placed in top 2 rows, plus 1 victory point for the barbed wire. Minefield. And then it's got an OP on it. I don't know what the OP means, but it's actually going there. So let's read the rules on what the heck this particular thing does. Outpost. Tiles can only be placed in the 4 spaces for the tiles in the top and middle rows of the tactical display. Okay. If you draw an outpost tile for the bottom row, swap it with a random tile in the top 2. Place a bunker counter in the outpost hex and treat it as a bunker. And then there's bunker values of AP4, HE4. If you destroy the outpost, you gain a victory point. Each time an infantry enters a minefield hex, roll a die. Enemy units are immune to barbed wire. So it says minefield hex, but this language is underneath barbed wire, so that's goofy. So basically, the barbed wire has... Yeah, let me just show you. So right here, under barbed wire, each time an infantry unit enters a minefield hex, talk about error there, DVG. Roll a die to determine the results. And then the results that it has there, stop acting, whatever, is for the barbed wire. And then for the minefield hexes, each time a unit enters a minefield hex, you can see that the unit could possibly get destroyed. So it actually does have the correct minefield hex language down below. But that was a big mistake on their part. So what it's saying is that there's an outpost, and it says you're supposed to put a bunker down. There is no bunker. I don't know what they're smoking. There's no bunker anywhere that I can see. Now, what I have is I have a building. So, for example, and then the stats that they gave for the bunker matches these stats for this building. And I can put it over here so you can see it a little bit better. See that building there where it hits with the 5-5? Well, actually, it doesn't match. So it's saying that the bunker has a 4-4 with a range 1, defense value 5, and this is allegedly a bunker. And there's a bunker tile somewhere, wherever the hell that would be. It is possible I have it buried somewhere in my stuff, but I don't know. I never saw a bunker piece anywhere. And the terrain pack doesn't come with anything. So I guess because it says place bunker here. Well, okay. Um, okay, so if we somehow can destroy that bunker, we get a victory point. Great. We'll try to do that. And in the meantime, I'll put a building there. I don't know. I mean, I'll just put nothing there. I know it's a bunker. If the bunker had all those stats, they should have just wrote it on there because there's plenty of room for the stats. Yeah, I don't fully understand that tile. That's a goofy tile. Okay, here's the next one. So they got some light cover. It's a little far back for them, so probably won't be very helpful to them. This one is a base game one. I can just tell by how shiny it is. Whoops. Here's some light cover for them. Another base game one. And just a nothing burger. Okay. So my guess is the enemy is going to converge here on the light cover because that's what they tend to do. All right, so we have a Panther, and our Panther will start here. We have an 88, and I'm going to put him here. We have an MG. See now, like I can advance the 88 again because I think that once we deliberated over those rules, so I really can advance the 88, and I will advance it. I'm going to put it there again. I haven't learned my lesson, folks. And then we have a Panzer II, which I'll put here in the heavy. And then I have a transport, which I will also put there. So, not much. We don't have much going up against them. Now, what do they get? They get 4 tanks, which is brutal. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess the tanks get a range 3. And I just realized that they don't actually get, they don't have any soft targets. So I'm going to put my MG nest back here, actually. And then I'm going to put my 88 back here as well. Why not? Let's just put everything under heavy cover and make those tanks come to us. In fact, I'm going to even put our Panther in here. We're going to just have everybody hanging out at the farm. They have good eggs every morning. So, okay, so we got 4 tanks, 2 armored cars, and 2 half-tracks. The half-tracks are really good against soft targets, but that's about it. So they're not much of a threat to us. Let's roll for the half-tracks. Okay, I got a 7 and a 6 for those. And a 7 would be here in the minefield, and a 6 would be there. Now it does say the enemy ignores the barbed wire. Then the armored car, 5 and 2. There's 2, and there's 5. The 6 would actually go here. So, okay, and then the tanks. So I got 2 9s, a 6, and a 10. Well, the 10 is for sure here. Here's the 2 9s, and there's the 6. Okay, none of them advance. The advancing is MG and anti-tank advance once, and then a rifleman would advance twice. So they don't have any of that. We're still slow with all of our guys. So they have to go first. And then we're going to roll to see which of those is going to happen. And I rolled a 9, so they're going to still roll d10s for their attack. So there we go. We're going 6 turns because I just almost knocked a whole bunch of stuff to the floor. 6 turns to, because we still have our scouts. I just rolled a 5 for them, and that 5 is here. So the tank and anti-tanks and armored cars, which is everything but the half-tracks, they're going to advance if they cannot attack. And then the half-tracks are going to advance to cover. Advance to cover, I believe, means that they don't advance if there's no extra cover. Let me check. I wish that they actually have advance to cover written down. It says, heaviest adjacent cover towards closest friendly unit, but it doesn't say what happens if there's no cover. Advance to cover. Move into an adjacent hex that's both one hex closer and has cover. If none of the adjacent units have cover, the unit does not move. Okay, so that's what I was looking for. Somebody had suggested a pretty good idea. We put them in the top left corner, and then we move them to the middle, and then after they fire, we put them in the bottom right corner. I think that's a good idea. So let's just start here. This tank has a range of 3, so he's advancing like so. So put him in the middle. And then 1, 2, 3, there's nothing in range, so we're going to move him to the right because he can't fire. Okay, that's how we're going to do this. So this tank is also going to advance. And 1, 2, 3, we are in range for him, so he's going to fire. And then this tank, same deal. He'll get to fire. All right, the half-track is not going to advance, and he can't fire. This half-track, same deal. This tank will advance. I'm going to put him in the same space, and he's also in the middle. The armored car is advance if they cannot attack. So this one will advance, and he has a range of 2, so he cannot fire, and this one will advance, and he cannot fire. So we basically have 3 units in the middle here. All 3 tanks are going to get to fire. Now, we made sure that all of us are in the same place. So who are they going to fire at? Well, they have a better odds at hitting armor, and so they're actually firing against our transport. And our transport, or the Panzer II, actually. And I'm going to choose the transport, because I would, well, actually, the Panzer II is easier to replace. Our Panzer II has a lot of damage, actually. I guess we could divide it up if we wanted to. I'm going to go ahead and say transport for now. It's funny, but the Panzer II is definitely in bad trouble. Okay, so we got to survive 3 attacks. Now, just as a reminder, this is a building which is considered heavy cover. Heavy cover adds 2 to our defense roll. And whether it's the transport or the... so let me just show you. This is our Panzer II, and he's got all kinds of damage on him still. He has a defense value of 1, but that defense value becomes a 3 because of the heavy building. And the transport is going to look exactly the same, just different artwork. So there you can see a defense of 1, but he has no damage on him at all. So 3 tanks are going to go after him. We defend with a 3. Okay, so let's see what happens. All right, well, they got a 10 and a 7. I think they're going to hit with both of those. This 3 blocks, but this 7 will not. Okay, so how do we know whether or not they hit? They have an attack value of 2. And I can show you their little value there. So you can see they hit with a 2 3 spaces away. Now what you can't see is written down here is that since they moved, they get an attack penalty of 1 for tanks. So that 2 becomes a 3 for them, and everybody moved in this situation. Okay, so they have to roll at least a 3, and then they're attacking 3 spaces away, so they get another -2 penalty. So that 3 becomes a 5. So they need a 5 to be able to hit, not a 2. So even though this says 2, we got to add 3 to that number. Unfortunately for us, he rolled a 7 and a 10, so he hit anyways twice. But we did block one of them, and so we are going to have to take 1 damage. So let's see what we get. And we got a glancing. All right, so glancing is the one that causes us stress the next time we do a mission with that particular unit. So it doesn't do anything to us now. All right, so that guy has fired, and now we go to the next one. And again, I rolled a 6 and a 10, so that's 2 hits. The 4 doesn't quite cut the mustard, but the 1 does. So we blocked again one of the hits, but we still take 1 hit. And we just took a hull damage. That doesn't do anything, but 1 more hull damage and we get destroyed. Okay, and then the third one, there they got 2 misses because they rolled 2 3s and our defense value stunk. I'm getting a caffeine break. 1 second. Okay, I don't want to jinx it, but so far, no electronic devices have failed in the process of this video. So I'm very happy. I can't even tell you what specifically I did. I just kept messing with the power settings. Okay. All right. That was all 3 tanks. I forgot to actually do this between attacks. So all their attacks are finished. The tanks are our biggest issue by far and far. So we need to start nailing those tanks. And we happen to have an 88 with us. Our 88 is proud and true and ready to go. Fully healed up. His commander has some stress, but he hits with a 4. And our Panther also hits with a 4. So they're both basically the same thing. They're both just as good. And they both can hit 3 spaces away. So that's what we're going to do. Now, this particular Panzer that we have has huge bonuses if he's in the same space as the enemy. So we sort of want to advance with our Panther and take them down. But I don't know if I want to do that this first turn. So these are the 2 guys that we're going to use. And if all goes well, we will take out 2 of those 3 tanks. And we're sort of like taking a beating until we can whittle them down. None of my other units are helpful against these tanks. So we're just sort of huddling inside of this heavy barn. All right, so I'm going to attack this stack of 3 tanks here with, it doesn't matter which one's first, but I'm going to do the Panther. Now, the Panther gets no bonus to his roll from the commander because the commander actually gives him huge bonuses if we're in the same hex. We're going to sit tight, so no bonuses from that. We do get a -2 because we're shooting at a range 3. Okay, so our 4 becomes a 6. And that is not good. We completely missed. Screw you. Okay, I heard nothing I can do about that. So then we do our 88. Now the 88 commander gets a +2 to his rolls. And so that cancels the range penalty. So he hits with a 4. And that's what I wanted to roll with the Panther. I hit twice there. And the tank is destroyed. So 1 tank is down, but I'm not real happy with that because we're still going to get pounded by these other tanks. Our turn's over already, and oh, I forgot to draw the event card, so forgive me for this. So we got to do this, and then keep this card. Who are we doing? We're doing 17A. 17A, we have to pay an SO point to go there, but we used a truck. So I wanted to point that out, so it doesn't cost us anything. Keep this card. Discard at the start of the week to reduce any commander stress by 3. So these event cards have so far been sort of nice. All right, so I'm glad I drew that. Now here's what stinks. You're supposed to keep this card, right? And it says keep this card on both of them. Well, which one did you get, the top or the bottom? So I'm going to put this on the top to remind myself that I actually get the top benefit, not the bottom benefit. And then the same one with the other one. On the other one, we get the bottom benefit. Yay. Okay, so let's roll, see what they do. This is the most precarious part of the battle. 6, again, advance if cannot attack, and then the other ones are advancing to cover. So this guy is advancing. The tank are not advancing, and this tank has to advance. So everybody's in cover or in range. This one's advancing but cannot attack, and then the 2 half-tracks are still standing. They're not advancing because there's no cover for them to move into. Okay, so we got ourselves a pickle. Again, 3 tanks can still attack us. We destroyed one, but now this one took its place. And now we have an armored car in range. The armored car is going to shoot after a soft target. And the only soft target there is the 88. The MG Nest has a higher defense value. So here we go again. The 3 tanks, are they shooting at the transport? Are they shooting at our Panzer II? Good question all across the board. The Panzer II is actually more expensive to replace. So I'm actually going to pick the transport. I don't like this roll. I'm really worried. But I needed my Panther to hit one of those tanks. Okay, so let's do it. Let's get the 3 tanks out of the way first. Doesn't matter which one we choose. They're all doing the same thing. And sure enough, look at this. An 8 and a 9. They're hitting twice. And so we just took 2 hits. That blows. And I'm getting a 1 stress and a gun hit. So we just got a stress and a gun. So the gun prevents us from attacking 2 spaces away. We've never cared about that. The transport can't hit 2 spaces away anyways. And the 1 stress I'm going to give to him now. So I was going to say our professor. He's up to 3 now. So this tank is done. And let's go to another one. 10 and a 7. Jesus criminy. 2 more hits. I just got commander's wounded. And I got a 1 stress and a suspension damage. So suspension damage means we can't move. Commander's up to 4 stress and he's wounded. All right. Last guy. The 3 is a miss and the 2 is a block. So we blocked the hit. So finally something good happened there. And so this guy's done. Now the armored car is shooting at the 88. So let's see how that plays out. So we rolled a 5 and a 6. Now the armored car gets a -1 because he's attacking at range 2. And then he gets another -1 because he advanced. And technically this tank advanced too. But he was the one we blocked. Okay, so the armor car hits with a 5, but then it becomes a 6-7, right? Because 1 for the advance and 1 for the range 2. So neither of these are 7, so the armored car actually just missed straight up. So that one went our way. Now we got to take this crap down. My Panther guy has overdrive, so if I'm willing to take an extra stress, I can charge 2 spaces and basically go into the space with the armored car and wipe out the armored car. It's an interesting idea. I don't know if I like it. We need to take out the tanks. So, do I keep shooting from far away though? That's the bigger question. Because if I go, I can only move 2 spaces. Technically I can only move 1. Because he has overdrive, he can move 2. I can move 2 spaces and then it'll put me in range 1 of all those tanks. And there's a possibility I'm going to get destroyed by those tanks. Being in range of all of them. I don't want to hit the armored car necessarily because the armored car has a worse chance of hitting us. So I'd be charging forward and I would still not get a bonus. In fact, I would get another negative because I moved. Alright, I'm going to just shoot at the tank. one of these ones back here. And there we go. We got ourselves a 9. The 9 hits for sure, and they don't block it, so we only need to hit once. So tank destroyed. That knocks them down another 3 points. And then the 88, we get a +2, which cancels the -2. And the 88 is for sure hitting. However, they block with a 1. And then the 3 does not hit. Dang you! Yeah, there's nothing I can do about that. I was getting so excited we were going to take out another tank, and here we are. We're stuck. If I move my transport forward, he has suspension damage. He actually can't move. Suspension damage makes him stuck. The Panzer II actually has suspension damage as well from the previous battle, so he can't move either. We're stuck. We're hanging out in this barn. Now they need 8 points to be at half strength. So 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 is what they have, and we're down to 4 turns left to go. I forgot to move the turn marker last time. This is the 3rd round. So let's roll. And another 6. Jesus criminy. I just keep rolling the same thing over and over again. Like if I could just roll like a retreat or something. The tanks aren't moving. The armored car will move. So now we got 2 armored car attacks, 2 tank attacks. Excuse me. I'm going to have the tanks attack my my Panzer II this time. I do get to decide because after all the ties get resolved, I get to choose. And since my commander is wounded, for the transport, I'm going to switch to the Panzer II. Then the armored car, I don't get to decide. They're going after the 88. So let's do the tanks first. And there's a for sure hit with a 10. And my defense rolls were just way too high. So we take 1 hit. And I got an exposed. And if you recall, an exposed just means next turn they get a +2 to hit him. So I won't get to choose. They'll be choosing the Panzer II because that will increase their chances of hitting. The cardinal rule of the AI is they always go after who is the easiest for them to hit. And now that he has exposed, it gives them a +2 to their roll against him. So I don't get to choose next round. Okay, here we go. Here's the next one. All right, the 5 at a range 3 is enough to hit. Let's think about this. He hits with a 2. He gets a 2 penalty, which puts him up to a 4. Yeah, had they advanced, the 5 would have missed. But no, the 5 hits and the 7 hits. But the 3 cancels the 5, but the 10 goes through. So we just take 1 hit. And I got a gun damage, which he already has 2 other gun damages. So that's his 3rd gun damage. Basically, gun damage is you can't shoot at 2 or more. So he can't shoot at 2 or more even if he was fully healed. So he has just a crap ton of gun damages. Okay. Now the armored cars. Okay, the 8 and the 10 are both going to be a hit. Now the good news is this 3 blocks 1 of them. So we take 1 hit with the 88. And I gain distress. So the 88 guy has 2 stress. So now he's going to go up to 3. He can go all the way up to 6 before he becomes an issue for him. So that was actually a decent one to get. The other armored car, that 10 and 8 both hit, but those 2 ones both block. Now remember, we're in a heavy building, so it adds +2 to our defense. the defense is normally just a 1, which in this case, he would have blocked it even if he was out in an open field. But he blocks all the way up to a 3. That's why he was able to block last time. Okay, so those 2 1s were a godsend, and we survived this round not too bad. And so now we can move our tanks, we can attack with our 88. I'm going to attack with our 88, and I'm going after this tank right here. So let's do that. And this 10 is a for sure hit. And they rolled a 10 for their defense, so that's not going to happen. Tank is destroyed. Chalk 1 for the good guys. So I'm going to move my Panther now. 1, 2. I'm going into overdrive. So that's causing me to gain a stress. So I'm up to 3 stress out of the 5 that I can have. I could do close combat with those armored cars, but I want to hit that tank. Now, at a range 1, I don't get a penalty. So it's a straight up hit. I need a 4 to hit. But because I moved, I get a -1 to my attack. So I need a 5 or better to hit. And there's a 6. But the problem is he rolled... Oh no, he rolled a 7. Remember, the blue is the first one. So the 7 is no good. So the 6 goes through, and the 7 doesn't block it. So tank is destroyed. Good job. We got him. Now, would I have been able to hit him if I stayed back? Yeah, actually I would have. But now I guess I'm just positioned to go after those armored cars. And those armored cars will actually shoot at my tank, even though my tank is not the better. I think they go after who's closest. I'll have to look that up real quick. Okay, now what do I do about these armored cars? I could move my machine gun nest up and try to hit them, but I'm not going to. I'm going to stay back with everybody. So we're now down to 3 turns left. I've more or less given up on that bunker up there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that bunker in 3 turns. So how are they doing points-wise? Well, they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points, and they needed 8 to get down to 8 for half strength. So they are at half strength. So I'm going to be subtracting 1 from this die roll, and it's a 10, which becomes a 9. So they're doing an AP advance. The tanks, anti-tanks, and armored car. AP advance means they're advancing towards our armor. Well, the armored car is right next to my Panthers, so they're not moving anywhere. And then the half tracks are doing an HE advance, so they will advance, and they don't hit armored car. They can't hit the Panther. These half tracks, they can only hit soft targets, so they're still out of range. So they're just chilling. Okay, so now the question becomes, do those armored cars target me, the Panther, because I'm in their space? AP advance just means they're advancing advance closer to a friendly unit that is attacked by AP. And of course they want to go where there's the heaviest cover. It doesn't mean that they're going to attack the AP now that they're there. Each enemy unit only attacks 1 if more than 1 friendly unit has the same. So it has the lowest attack roll required to hit. It doesn't matter what the range is. So this gives them a -1 to their die roll because they have to go 2 range away. But that 5, so that 5 turns into a 6 because of that. The problem here is that it's a 7 to hit the armor piercing at range 0. However, there is this weird rule that at range 0, their move and attack penalty gets added to their attack. So, for example, if you were to move an attack as an armored car, they would get a -1 to their attack penalty. Now they get a +1, so that 7 becomes a 6. So the Panther is actually just as good of a hit as the 88. So they're both going to shoot at the Panther. And these guys don't shoot at anything because they can only hit soft targets. All right, so both of them are going after the Panther. The 2 for sure misses. The 8 hits. So that's not good. Panther's expensive. And we just took a hull damage to our Panther. Okay, and then the other one's going to shoot. Same deal. The Panther's defense is a 3. That's like the tiebreaker, right? Which one has the better defense? Well, the Panther has a defensive 3 in the same space as them. The 88 has a defensive 3 because it's in the building. So if the 88's defense was lower, they actually would have still shot at the 88. And here we go. This 1 misses, but the 9 hits, and our 5 is not high enough. Our defense is 3, so we take another hit with the Panther. These are always stressful. And I got a suspension damage, which means we can't move. I also take a stress with my commander, but the suspension has suspended us. We are no longer able to move. But that's okay. We're in a position where we can just crush them, absolutely crush them. And that's exactly what we're going to do. I get to roll an extra die, and I get huge bonuses to my roll. That's a hit all the way across the board. It doesn't matter. The armored car is toast with the Panther. And take this away. My 88 is going to shoot at the other armored car. And that 4, ooh, yes, that 4 is enough to hit because the commander cancels the range penalty. So this 4 hits, and that 4 does not block them. They only have a defensive 2. So the other armored car is also destroyed. I'll just stack them up and put this over top. So all that's left is their half tracks, which have a value of 1 each, and the battalion is actually destroyed. So I do not have to go after those half tracks. I guess I could try to go after that bunker way in the back to get a victory point. I don't really know how the game plays because I think the rules state that as soon as the battalion is destroyed, the mission's over. So, like, can I continue for 2 more turns because I want to get this bunker that's in the back? I'm going to say no, I can't. Not that I really care to, but we win. The thing is I'm taking a lot of damage, and this damage, for all intents and purposes, is sucking up SO points. If I were to try to repair all this damage, it's going to take a ton of SO points. I do have 2 mechanic and 2 medic skills, which is helpful, but yeah, we're definitely getting pounded here. And then on our way home, we draw this, keep this card, discard at the start of any battle to get an extra battle turn. That's really good. I mean, we're getting a lot of nice cards. So I at least give DVG credit. The battles are a little brutal, but they're giving you some help with some of these event cards. Okay, so next thing we do is we record the stress, and I'm going to start with, so starting with this guy, he gets 2 stress, but he has 2 cool, so he gets no stress. And just letting you know, that's the state of him right now. He's a veteran with 10, and I got to pause, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we were in the middle of assigning our stress here, and this is the 88 commander. So you can see here he's going to get 1 stress, so that becomes 4. And then we have this is the MG Nest commander, who really didn't get to do much this battle, becomes 4. And I think some of you might have been right if you were to suggest that maybe I should have put both Panthers in this mission and, you know, maybe divided. Like this MG Nest guy maybe should have been on a different mission. Vogel here is going to get 2 stress. And you can see that at 3 stress, he gets shaken. So he was shaken for this whole battle, and now he's going to go up to 6 stress, which makes him unfit. So he can't go on a mission anymore. And then Bach, he got wounded. He's our transport commander, and he's going to gain 2 more, and he's going to become shaken. All right, so are we concerned? Yes. If you recall, I saved 5 SO points from the last battle, and it costs 5 to do like a emergency R&R where I get to reduce some stress on everybody. And that's my goal, is to try to do that. But I do have to spend 1 right now because of my large tank. So I'm going to spend 1 and we're down to 4. I know I have a mechanic skill. I get it. But the mechanic skill is going to be needed to repair our damages. And so I'm just spending the SO points. It's sort of 6 or 1/2 dozen because I could use the mechanic skill to not pay the SO point now, but then I have to pay the SO points to do the repairs. So now one difference, like I told you, that Sherman Leader plays identical to this game. There is one difference. The mechanic skill in Sherman Leader repairs 2 damage on each tank. So the American mechanics were a little better. And I think, I mean, thematically, it just makes a lot of sense. I mean, the Germans just, they were plagued with mechanical issues. I mean, have you ever owned an Audi after you've had like 3,000 to 5,000 miles on it, or after the first 2 years? Those people are nuts. They spend all that money for those Audi cars. They feel great when you drive them brand new, but gosh darn it, after 3 years, you better be able to afford a new one, or your car sucks. And I don't think they've improved on their mechanic ability since 1940. So they still don't make good automobiles. But then, you know, like the Volkswagen, supposedly one of the best. And then Subaru is supposed to be really good. Is Subaru a German vehicle maker? That's the next question. So apparently those are supposed to be nice quality vehicles, but I don't know. Germans have seemed to have struggled very much on that. I think it's because Oktoberfest is taken a bit too seriously. Okay, so we got all the stress. So now let's give out the candy, the experience points for our guys. So I can go back to this. This one is 17A. For week 2, we did 17A. And from a battalion perspective, it's destroyed. And it's worth 2 victory points. So not quite as good as yesterday. All right. And it just is what it is. But we do get an extra experience point because of the text on the card. And so let's start here. Beck is going to get 3 again. So these guys are getting extra experience every time. So Beck is up to 6. He needs 10. So he's not quite there. Next up is Gerber. Gerber's up here at the top. He gets 3. He's at 6. He needs 7. So he's very, very close. Next is Seidel. He already leveled up once. He gets 3. He needs 4 to level up again. So he's very close. I did do the right one. Yep. And then Vogel. He's getting 3. He's going to have 4. He only needs 2 to level up. So I'm actually going to cross this out. So that's one of the 2. And then I'm just going to write 2 in. And he levels up. So Vogel, just trying to pick up the card here, sitting here at 6 stress, right? He's unfit. He's going to upgrade from green to average. And you can see there he only needs 3 to level up to average, to level up again, and he has 2 right now. So he's almost able to level up again. And there you can see the 6 stress puts him to shaken, and his skills get just a tad bit better. So he can now hit at range 0, and he has the overdrive ability. So like I said, this Vogel guy is just an amazing at leveling up. And let's go ahead and bring this back. And once he gets from average to skilled, he only needs 3 points at skilled to level up again. And then after that, he only needs 4 points to level up again. So Vogel is going to go up the ranks fast if you can keep him alive. And like I said, we're just keeping him in a crappy Panzer II. And he's just shooting up like a rocket. The last one is Bach. Bach gets 3. And Bach needs 6 to level up, so we got another level up. And this guy is going to level up to skilled. He's average right now. So here's where he's at now. And then here's, oh, I got to turn over that card. So let's just take the tokens off. So you can see here he's +1, +2 at range 1. So we're going to flip him over. And now he's +1, +3. So he's going to be really good at taking stuff down. And remember, this guy was supposed to be our anti-tank guy. That's the reason why I chose this. He's going to upgrade eventually to drive an anti-tank instead of a transport. He's our transport commander at the moment, but we want to switch him to anti-tank. And he is poised at that +3 skill with an anti-tank. I feel very, very good about that. Okay, so that's that mission. Let's get our units off. Just from an SO point perspective, we're sitting on SO points, 4 of them right now, okay? The amount of damage that we have, if I want to heal everything, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 damage. That's 12 SO points. I just realized one of them is an exposed, so I'm putting that back in the cup. So 11 SO points is what it would take to fully heal just this squad alone. And that's not counting the other squad, which I'm looking over at them. They have 1 damage right now. So it's not good. And if I want to upgrade to my anti-tank, I can't upgrade a damaged unit. I have to fully repair the unit I have if I want to be able to upgrade it. So you don't get to cheat that way, where, okay, I'm going to take a unit that's fully damaged and let's upgrade it now. Doesn't quite work that well. So there's not enough SO points is what I'm getting at. The good news, I mean, we only got 6 this last time because of this jerk right here that's in the way. And that's the jerk, that's not the jerk we just destroyed. We destroyed 17A, which was in the back. And that allowed them to discard a tactic. So this one is destroyed. We're up to 3. And so now we finally don't have to discard a tactic because of him. And we're going to go after 13A because this one's worth 2 SO points to us. And that's the biggest problem, is we would like to hit, I think it's 8C that's causing us to lose a tactic point. But the SO points are more valuable. And the fact that we drew a card that says they're not going to advance this round means we don't have to worry about 15A or some of these other ones that are close to advancing forward. All right, so I'm going to cut in half. And we're going to do the other battle now. And as you will see, I got this again. So he's back out, and that means we have to find the other one, wherever the other one is. Bear with me. And just to warn you, the next one that's coming out is the river. So we got to get that one out too. And the problem is they're not in the same order as the last battle we had. So the river's actually going to hurt us. Here's the other road. And here's the other river. All right. And then here's there. And in the most goofy one of all is we got this weird riverfront one, which I don't understand what that one means yet. So let's look up what that does. Okay, so the riverfront. Gain 5 SO for each riverfront tile present in the battle if you destroy the enemy battalion. or lose 5-0 for each riverfront tile present in a battle if you do not. Okay, so this is just as simple as we need to destroy the enemy battalion, period. As long as we destroy the enemy battalion, we get 5 SO points. Oh my gosh, that is a wonderful blessing. Oh my god. I want to draw more of those. How many more of those do we have? I don't see any more. I see an urban. Ooh, I want more of those. Oh, those are sweet. 5 SO points just for destroying the enemy battalion. Urban. Infantry units add 1 to their attack roll. Yep, that's industrial. Gain 1 victory point if you end with units in all 4 hexes. Okay, that one blows. I don't like that one. It's like the bunker, except you're going to lose victory points if you don't take it. I bet they didn't give us any more riverfronts, did they? Nope, no more riverfronts. Oh, I'm so sad. I bet. So what about if it's other terrain? Like, is there a riverfront, like, for example, for the desert? That would be weird. I'm looking. Sorry. Okay, there's an industrial for the winter. There's an urban for the winter. Nothing else. And this is just with the tiles we have. I mean, there's a whole box here of tiles that don't apply to the European format. All right, so in the jungle, there's another industrial. Oh, there's a riverfront for the desert. I just found that. Here's a riverfront for winter, or the jungle, I mean. So there's a riverfront for the jungle. I think there might be just 1 for each, unfortunately. So the only one I haven't found is a riverfront for the winter. And I'm pretty sure I'll find one. So we found there's a jungle river hex. That's not the same as a riverfront. There's actually a bogging one, like a swamp, except it's for winter. That's interesting. Guess it's a frozen lake that's... I may have missed it, but there's no riverfront for the winter. Or maybe I did call it out, and I just forgot that I called it out. So my apologies if I did. Okay, so this is awesome. Now, the only other thing that this does is it's going to cost us an extra move point to cross the river. But beyond that, the actual tile doesn't mean anything. Like, you don't have to take anything in the tile. It's just that you have to beat the battalion on this map. And just by the fact that this is somewhere on the map, you get 5 SO points for doing so. So, yeah, I'm so excited. I know, it's just the little things, right? Okay, so the enemy battalion we're going up against is this one that's causing us to lose 2 SO points. It's going to make us lose 1 battle turn. So battles last 1 fewer turn. I do happen to have the scout, and so we're going to be at 5 overall turns. Now, there is this thing that says we get to discard at the start of any battle to gain an extra battle turn. So for the lack of a reason to use it, I'll use it now, and so we're going to go back up to 6. I'm going to cancel out the effect that they did. And then I do have the ability to reduce the stress of a commander by 3. I'm looking real quick at my commanders. I do have one that's stressed out pretty bad. Ziegler is, so I'm going to reduce him by 3. So I'm going to get rid of this card. My MG Nest commander was actually shaken, so I'm going to reduce his stress by 3. That reduces him down to 1. So he'll be better. And then we have a deep raid card that says, oh yeah, we don't have to pay SO points. So I'm going to save that one. Because we have our trucks, we haven't had to pay anything to attack any of these. And this particular one is actually on our side of the fence, so we don't do anything at all. Okay, so 4 half tracks for this one. Currently, we've only ever seen 2, and they are armored targets, but they only hit soft. So that's how those work. And I'm grabbing 2 more from the bin here. So there's 4 half tracks. Okay, what else do we got? 2 MGs. I think those are new. Yes, they are. MGs are just machine gun squads. And let's take a look at those. So there you can see the machine gun squads. They have a range of 1. They hit soft targets, but oh boy, do they hit them hard. They can hit them with a 2. So otherwise, they're pretty straightforward. So they got to get close. That's the only issue. So we got to hit them before they get to us. 2 trucks. Now, trucks are just like the other game. They're not too bad. They only have a defense value of 1, and they can only hit soft targets, but they need to hit with an 8, which is very, very poor. So we don't have to worry about the trucks too much. And 2 rifle squad, which is already in the game. All right. So there are some hard targets, but most of them, and actually the hard targets are actually the best. Those half tracks are the best units they have, with the exception of maybe the MG squads if they were to get close enough. But yes, they are a big threat to our soft targets. So we probably want to keep our soft targets back a bit. So how do we want to do this? Well, first of all, we have a transport, which can only hit soft targets. And we have to start on our side of the river, by the way. So like if I put him here, he's on this side of the river, and it costs a movement just to get to the other side of the river within the same hex. And the same goes like if we're starting over here. So it doesn't matter which of the places we go. I honestly don't know what. I don't know if it matters. So I'm going to just put him here like this. And what's interesting is you can move along the hex this way as long as you stay along this side of the river, and you're okay. But I'm going to put him there. So then we have a rifle team, which we can place anywhere, and then we can advance him twice. So we can get him across the river is the big thing. But we got to be careful because the rifle team is the infantry squad that all of their units are designed to destroy. So what I'm going to do with the rifle team is I think I'm going to put him here, because the enemy is going to have to cross this river first, and then, have to cross that river, be able to get to us. Now, what's interesting, though, is this is still considered a range 0, even though you're shooting somebody on the other side of the river. But I'll put the rifle squad there. Now, the machine gun team is an interesting one. Should I put him on the other side of the river, or maybe even here, right? Because I could advance him 1. So he can hit 1 space away. And yeah, let's put the rifle team with them. I'm a little concerned, because what that does is that allows my MG squad to be able to damage them. But we got to be careful, because the rifle squad is exactly the type of target they want to hit. Everything that we're placing on the board has a range of only 1. So in order for them to hit us, they have to be in range for us to hit them. So if they do that, I'm actually going to put the transport with them too, because the transport can hit soft targets. So I'm changing my mind. I'm moving us up a little bit. Oh, actually, the transport, I'm sorry, has to start back here. Now, we could take the rifle squad and move them even further up. I think that's suicide, because the rifle squad's not as good as the MG nest. So we're going to have the MG nest and the rifle squad to help each other out. Okay, next up is we have our artillery. And the artillery does have to sit in the back. We have no problem with that whatsoever. We have a range of 3, so I think maybe putting the artillery here would be a good call. So 1, 2, 3, we can hit him before they get in range, or if they do get in range. Maybe the other nice thing would be maybe to put it there. So that's fine. We'll do that. So 1, 2, 3. We can hit out to basically here. And that is actually a zone where we can hit them, but they still can't hit us because they got to move in closer to be able to hit us. And then we have our Panther, which I'm also putting in the back. I have no choice of the matter, but the Panther, we can move him up. And this Panther in particular does not need to be in the same hex like the other one did to get his big bonuses. And he can shoot 3 spaces away just like the... but this Panther's not as good against soft targets, but he's good against those half tracks. All right, let's place them. We'll start with their 2 trucks. 4 and 5. One goes here and one goes there. Next up, and they're already going to move. Next up is the MG 8 and 9. So they both go here, and they get to do an anti-tanks and MGs get to advance once. So here's what's interesting. They could go along the river and advance twice. I'm sorry, not the river, but the road, because the road gives them like a 1 free road movement each turn. So is that what they would do? Oh my gosh, if they did that, actually, that would allow them to hit us before we even had a chance to hit them. That blows. Now, one thing I want to talk about is smelt it before you dealt it. As you can see here, he gets a tactic ×2, and normally that's this, but because there's still 1 card out there that says discard 1 tactic. We destroyed 1 of them the last mission, but there's still 1 out there. He actually starts the game with 1 tactic, so that means he will get to go during the fast phase, and he's our artillery guy. We may need him. He may be our only hope. Okay, I think in fairness, because they get to advance 1, they would go along the road and basically be within range of annihilating us. So I didn't think about that, and that sucks. Okay, now the rifle unit. 8 and 6, so the 8 would go here, the 6 would go there. They get to advance twice, so the rifle unit would advance once, and then this is free, and twice would be in the same hex as us. And then this one gets to advance once and twice. So we're basically getting swarmed from the start of the battle. I don't know. I mean, am I really that stupid? I mean, I guess I was banking on the fact that maybe they would have rolled something else, but I really didn't factor in that road at all. And I feel really dumb because these guys should have stayed back. I should not have, like, that was a voluntary advance on my part to move up. And I don't know what I was smoking, but I'm going to pay a huge price, I think. Now we're going to do the half tracks. And that's going to be 4, 4, and 5, and then 2. Okay, the half tracks don't advance. So, all right. So we got to roll for what are they going to do? And for the first time, I rolled a 3, something less than a 5. So they're going to be using a D6 for their command. So I happen to have one. I think DVG gave me this die. I don't know. So we're going to use a D6 to determine their command rolls. Fast gets to go first, and I am going to use my tactic because I need to attack, and so the tactic has to be used on my artillery. I don't get a choice in the matter. Command tactic lets me use it on other people. So my artillery is actually going to try to hit the MG guy. Even though these 2 are here, the MG are the bigger threats. So I'm going to try to hit the MG at fast. I do get a -1 to my roll because I'm tacking something 2 spaces away. My commander gets a +1, so they cancel each other out. What did I need to hit? Unfortunately, I needed more than a 4 to hit. I needed a 6. So the artillery sucked wind and is making me angry. And I think they would have blocked both of them. No, actually, they would have blocked only one. But yeah, a 4 is not good enough to hit. So yeah, we're in trouble. Okay, so we missed the MG nest. We needed to get one of them. We really truly did. I mean, they're at a spot now where they don't even have to advance to attack us. And so here's their roll. And of course, it's a 4. So what are they going to do? The anti-tank and armored car, there's none of those. So the rifle unit, the half-track, and the MG, which is everybody, right? Except for the truck. The truck's over here, I guess. They're going to go adjacent cover, and the other ones are going to hold. Adjacent cover means they're just going to move to the heaviest cover if they can. So there's no adjacent cover for them. The trucks are going to hold, so they're way in the back. The half-tracks, will they move if there's no cover? I wish they would have put that on the little cheat sheet. They didn't, and it's sort of annoying. I know they want to move into adjacent cover, but what happens if there isn't any? If none of the hexes have cover, the unit does not move. All right. So these units in the back aren't moving. They're staying, all of them, they're just staying right where they are. So we basically have a situation here where these guys aren't moving either, but they're in range to attack, so they will. And so that's our pickle, and why I'm a little upset. But we're going to start with the MG nest, and they're going after the rifle unit because that has the lowest defense compared to the MG nest. The MG nest actually has a defense, or I'm sorry, they both have defense of 2. We're going to have them go after the rifle unit, though, and God help us all on this one. They hit with a 2, for Pete's sakes. And so there you go. There's a 2 and a 10, and we block with a 2. So we actually block one of the damage. The 4 unfortunately does not block them, although that was a great roll. And so yes, we take a hit. And this is a good start. No effect. So one of them down, one more to go. Again, going after the rifle team. And oh my gosh, we rolled well. They only hit us once, actually. The one misses, of all things. And then look at us. We rolled 2 2s. So our defense was rock solid. So we actually blocked the MG nest. Okay, but we're not out of the woods, because now we got these 2 riflemen, and they're doing the exact same thing. They attack with a 4. And again, they're going after the rifle unit. The 1 is a miss. The 6 is a hit. And then this 3 is not enough. We needed it down 1 lower, so we take 1 hit. And we got an exposed. So exposed, if you remember, is next turn, they're going to get a +2 on their chances to hit that unit. Okay, now let's go to the other rifle unit. The 8 and the 5 are both hits, and neither of these are going to defend. So this is bad. And we got an immobile, which means he can't move or attack unless we take a stress. And a casualty, which you would think would be somebody's dead, but it's you got to get 2 of those before somebody's dead. So casualty, the first time you get it, is not so bad. And just so you know, I saw that commander killed in action one again. It's in there. I hate games that have that, but you know, it does happen. I mean, it's war. Okay. What do we do now to progress this? Well, it's our turn. our rifle team has that immobile thing. So if I'm willing to take a stress with our rifleman, I can attack with him. And I am going to do that. So I'm going to discard this, which now if I chose not to attack at all, I can discard this and just don't take any actions. So I think I can actually wait to see how the other ones go. So maybe I'll do that. I think I need his help, to be quite honest with you, but let's wait. And so I'm going to start with the transport here. My transport can shoot one space away, so we can hit it with a 6. And so we're going to go ahead and shoot at one of these riflemen with my transport. And we hit with a 6. My commander gives me no bonuses. And we rolled an 8. Now, I do have to make one correction. My commander is shaken. Let me show you. He has 4 stress, so he's shaken. So I actually get a -2 to my roll one space away. And so that 6 now becomes an 8, which you just saw what I rolled. That 8 still hits. And he defends with a 3, and he only rolled a 4 for his defense. So this guy is killed. So we actually got the rifleman with our transport, who's shaken, not stirred. And that was a good roll. All right, so next up, our MG nest is going to try to hit this MG one space away because they're a bigger threat to us. And I rolled 2 4s, and MG nest hits with a 2. So their MG nest is destroyed, and we got another one down. All right, so we're cracking away. All right, next up, I'm going to do our artillery. Now the artillery hits with a 6. It's not a super good hit. He can shoot the MG nest 2 spaces away. He gets a -1 penalty, but we get to, our commander negates it. So I have to get a 6 to hit the MG nest. And look at that, I got a 6 and a 9. Now this 1 blocks our hit, but the 3 is not good enough. They only have a defense of 2. So we got the other MG nest with our artillery. And last but not least, we have our tank here. And the tank, I think I need to start moving forward because he can hit their armored targets. And he's not a big, like none of them are a threat to my tank. So I am going to move the Panther 1 space forward, which means I just cross the river. I don't get to do anything else. I get a -1 to my attack, and so I need a 7 to hit this rifleman. But my commander gives me a +1, so it's back to a 6. So I need a 6 to hit with my tank against that rifleman. And you can see there I got a 3 and a 2. That's not going to cut the mustard. So I am taking 1 stress with my rifleman. I'm going to get rid of this immobile. My rifleman is now up to 3, and my rifleman is going to attack their rifleman. Now I hit with a 6. However, I am in the same hex, so I get my move and attack penalty, so I get a +2. And here, let me show you where that's coming from. So this is probably one of the most confusing rules. See there where it says -2 attack when moving? So if I move, I have to take 2 off of my attack. So my HE attack would turn into an 8. However, I'm attacking at range 0, and I did not move. So the rule in the game is you get to add that minus attack value to your attack value. So in this case, I get a +2 to my attack when they're in the same space as me at a range 0. So so my HE attack is now going to be a 4 against their rifle. So it makes the rifle units actually quite good if you can get to range 0. And therefore, you need your infantry commanders to have range 0 bonuses. And believe it or not, our range 0 bonus guy has a bonus of 1. So we actually hit with a 3, which is almost as good as an MG nest. And they actually blocked one of the hits, but the other one makes it through. And sure as shoot, the rifleman's down. And this is all after 1 round. So we have 5 turns left in the game. And they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points left. And they're already reduced to half strength. Because we destroyed 4 points worth of units, I guess. So they now get a -1 to their roll. And they rolled a 1. And a -1 moves it to a 0. And that's where the D6 really hurts them. So the rifle units, what do they have left? They have half tracks and trucks. That's it. So the half tracks are retreating, and the truck is retreating. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no, no. No. I lose 5 SO points if I don't destroy this battalion. Losing 5 SO points is brutal. I actually lose the campaign. I don't have 5 SO points. This is the most stupid tile ever. I mean, if you can't afford the SO points, you lose the campaign. So I lose the campaign because these guys escaped? Because they rolled a 1? All right, so just to explain the rules, a retreat means that they're going to go off the edge of the map. And so all 3 of these guys would retreat. This guy would retreat. These 2 would not. But they would go back to this hex. Well, this is 2 points worth of units. These 1, 2, 3, 4 stay alive. I got to reduce them to 3 in order to destroy the battalion. So I needed to destroy one of these 4 units in order for... And because I don't have 5 SO points, I have 4. I lose the campaign because I can't afford to pay the SO points. So this tile that I was all excited about is actually my doom. And the campaign's over. I lose. And if I can be opinionated for a second, not that I've ever stopped being that way, this is like the most ridiculous way to lose this game ever. I mean, I guess you could thematically justify it and say there's some VIP in here and, you know, Hitler himself, well, I guess we're on the Hitler side. You know, Roosevelt himself is in one of these trucks, and I don't know. Like, why do you lose the whole campaign just because this guy retreated? I was getting excited that we knocked him down to half strength. Now, if they would have gotten this one and not gone down one, they would have retreated to cover, which just meant that they stayed where they were. Retreat to cover doesn't leave the map. They only retreat if they get a 0. So we could retcon this, and I think I will, because I'm assuming that those of you who are watching don't want to see me lose the campaign over something this stupid. And if I were to actually do another campaign of this, I would actually switch to Sherman Leader, because I don't have to deal with all these cards that are half first edition, half upgrade kit, which, to be quite honest, is a little annoying. You know, you play Sherman Leader, you just have a cleaner game. You don't get to play with 88s, though. And I think, you know, and the Panthers are so darn good. So I think the only resolution that I could come up with is let's just re-roll this and do their turn. Just pretend that I never rolled a 1, I guess, right? I mean, you're welcome to put in the comments if you think I should just take the loss and move on. But, I mean, that's the thing with solitaire games is you can always choose not to lose. But for the record, I lost this campaign because of this situation. All right. So that's a 4, which gets reduced to a 3. See, and then they're going adjacent, cover, or holding. That feels a lot fairer, does it not? I think it does. So we're going to just move forward with that. Okay, so they go first, and none of them are advancing. They're sort of all just hanging in the back. And I do have the threat that they're going to retreat at any moment. So we do have that issue. So what I'm going to do is move my MG nest across the river and my riflemen across the river. And you only gain stress if you attack and move in the same turn. We're not attacking and moving, we're just moving. This transport gets to move our artillery 2 spaces. One of those 2 spaces is to get across the river. The other one takes them to there. And then, of course, the artillery can't move. But that puts the artillery in range to at least hit up here next turn. And then our Panther can only move 1 space. So I will move up. And I do get to attack. And I'm going to try to attack the half-track up there. I guess I could try to attack the truck. But I'm going to go after the half-track. And I need to... I have to take a penalty of 1. So in order to hit the half-track, it's only a 4. But I get a -2 because I'm doing range 3. And then it's a -1 because I advanced. So I get a -3 to my roll. And the commander gives me a +1. So I'm at a -2. So those 4s turn into 6s. And I only hit with a 6. You can see here I rolled 2 4s for defense. And the half-track is destroyed. So we at least got 1. And now we're down to 4 turns. So again, if I roll 1, it's game over. Because I still didn't destroy enough of them. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points on the board. And I need to destroy one of these in the back here in order for me to make a difference. And there I go. I rolled a 1. That's another game over for me. So again, I have to retcon. And I rolled a 1 again. So basically the game's trying to tell me, quit cheating, you jerk. And so there's a 2 that becomes a 1. And yeah, everybody holds because they're retreating to cover. There is no cover to retreat to. So they're going to just stay where they are. So again, infantry moves forward. This moves forward. I could move my artillery up 3 spaces. But what's interesting is I'm putting them in harm's way if I get too close. But I am going to go ahead and move my artillery to here. So now they're in range. And I will move my tank up 1. And then because he's on a road, he gets a bonus move. And I'm going to shoot at these half armors in the back. So that way we can finally win this mission if they retreat. And we are at 3 turns left, I think. This 8 hits. The 3 is not good enough, so I do get one of the half-tracks in the back. And then we roll for them, and they get a 2. I mean, technically now, you know, we could say, hey, they rolled a 1, and then they retreat. And then what's left is I'd have to destroy this truck in order to win the mission. So, I mean, we could argue that, okay, from here on out, those 1s that I rolled are happening. So that means this half-track, and this truck retreated. Now, what that did is that's 3 points that just retreated. And I got to get them down to 3 points here in order to win the mission. So I have at all costs, I need to take out this truck. So let's start with our tank because he has the best shot. The truck is a soft target though. My tank hits with a 6, and right now we're here. So I get a -1 attack, but my commander cancels it, and I miss with my tank. So now I got to shoot with my artillery, which is here. They get a -1 to their attack, but the commander gives a +1. So that cancels out, and my artillery hits with a 6. And there's the 9 that we were looking for. There's the droid we were looking for. So we destroy the truck, and finally survive this mission. So this is an exciting tile that can help immensely because that tile is actually helping us right now. Without getting the 5 SO points for destroying the battalion, this campaign is sort of squeaking along and not going very well. That 5 SO points is going to be huge, but losing it was even huger, bigger, larger. That was bad. I feel really awful that it came to that, and that like you have to like reserve 5 SO points just for that one tile that could come out, and then of course they roll a retreat, which is the next thing that is so rare because you have to get a 0 in your roll to get that retreat at all. A lot of planets had to align for us to lose like that, but as you saw, we lost with 3 rolls there. We ignored it the first time, and then it happened 2 more times. So it is what it is, folks. I'm assuming you're okay with me wanting to just show you the rest of the campaign and how it plays out. This is an expansion pack item, and DVG's expansion packs are sometimes a little faulty in terms of, like, if you remember our Nimitz playthrough, Field Commander Nimitz, some of the expansion ideas are really cool, but they weren't really well thought out, and they created little holes in the game. And I don't know if you agree with me that this is a hole in the game, but I think it is. I love the idea of getting 5 SO points, don't get me wrong, but the fact that they can retreat like that sucks. As far as I'm concerned, if they retreat, we should be able to destroy them. But that's not how this works, because we can retreat too and save our units. I mean, we actually have that option. It is designed in the game that you can retreat to save your units. So a little annoying there, but life moves on. So I'm going to give 2 stress to everybody. Albrecht is actually taking 3. He's the transport guy, and Salt's the rifleman commander, gets 2. The commander of the MG nest gets 3. Commander of the artillery gets 2, and the Panther commander gets 2. So maybe we can. The only thing that's painful is trying to pick up these cards and move it over to the camera. But this is the light armor commander, and you can see he's up to 7 stress, so he's unfit for missions. He is going to get promoted, though. You can see he's got 4, and I'm pretty sure he's going to get promoted, which will help. And the thing that's been hurting him is this -1. He's getting extra stress on every mission. All right, so that's the transport commander, which is soon going to be the recon commander. Then this is our infantry commander for the rifle squad. He's up to 5, so he's shaken now. And those 5 SO points that we're going to get for this is going to help us do emergency R&R to get rid of some of this stress. Here's Ziegler. The reason he's low on stress is because we used that card to remove, what was it, 3, 5 stress? I can't remember. We removed some stress from him at the start of the combat. And then he gained a bunch he gained an extra one because of that -1. So he's at 4. He's actually shaken. And this is our MG nest commander. He is very likely going to level up. And then Smelter, our artillery guy, is sitting on 4 stress, so he's shaken. He's likely going to level up. And then our Panther commander is actually okay right now, but he's at the limit with 4 stress. I don't think he's going to level up. All right, so for this particular one, we get to so this was 13A. All right, we did destroy the battalion with an asterisk. And that was only another 2 victory points. So remember I said if we got 6 every week, we would get a great score. This is lower than last week, so we didn't quite produce like we did last week, but we did get some good experience. And unfortunately, these guys are getting 2, whereas the other commanders are getting 3 every time because they always end up with the one that gives them extra experience. So, all right, so we're going to start with Saltz here. Saltz needs 5 to level up, so he's not quite there. Can I scroll over? Here we go. This is Saltz. Then next one is Ziegler. Ziegler needs 3. So I'm going to cross, and I'm just going to put 1 here. So he leveled up, Ziegler did. So let's look at his situation. He's a green. Yep, and he's one of the ones that was getting the extra stress. And he's going to turn into an average. So he's going to go, well, he gets +0, and now he's actually not shaken with this level of stress. And Ziegler, by the way, is our MG Nest guy. So MG Nest mostly is shooting 1 space away. So the fact that he no longer gets a negative penalty at range 0, it helps a little because in this last scenario, the MG Nest actually did have some guys at range 0, even though that's not what he shot at. Okay, let's keep going up. Next one is, this is our Panther Commander. He has 4 out of 8, so nothing's going to happen there. And give me a second. All right. Next is Albrecht. He's at 4. He levels up. He needed exactly 4 to do it. So let's look at Albrecht. This is our light commander, our light armor guy with the crap ton of stress. He's going to become average. So he does not improve from a stress perspective at all. He does get rid of the pesky -1. And that's it. And then he gains a tactic. So that's actually really good. So that actually is awesome. Now, obviously, it's going to be canceled right at the moment because we still have that 1 battalion that cancels tactics. But the fact that he's getting them now is going to be better and better. Okay. I just realized there was an exposed on the rifle team, so I got rid of that. Oh, and then the last guy, Smeltzer. Smeltzer levels up with a 4, so I'm going to cross that out. And that sums up all of our guys. Let me get Smeltzer over here so we could see what happens with him. Smeltzer is our artillery guy, so that -1 doesn't mean anything to us. Artillery can't even shoot at range 0. The 2 tactics are awesome, but he's going to become a little awesomer. I'm already looking at his veteran card, but he's going to flip over from average to skilled, and now he has a spotter tactic. And if you remember, spotter means he ignores line of sight penalties, so he can shoot through cover and buildings. Nothing gets in his way whenever he's shooting. And he still gets 2 tactics. So he's getting better and better. And I actually like this commander. This is a really good commander for an artillery. Oh, and he gets a +2. Maybe the other one already got a +2. I can't remember. I think his -1 went to 0. Yep, he improved to +2 at range. So his to hit is going to be a little bit better. Artillery doesn't hit at range 0, so at least that one doesn't. I think the 88 might. Nope, 88 doesn't either. So I don't know why they give him a range 0 skill. Okay, so I don't know. That was a weird asterisk type of mission, but it was sort of fun, because there was a little bit of heat. I mean, they actually moved really strong on top of us, but we actually were able to take them out pretty quick. I don't know. There was some nice things to that. As far as SO points go, I'm spending 1 because I sent a Panther on the mission. And then I'm taking the 5 because we destroyed the battalion. I get the whole asterisk part of that. But that's where we're at. I'm at 8. And I think that's good. Oh, we got to go home. So add 1 to your rifle, anti-tank, and machine gun team's attack rolls next battle. These cards have been really good. I'm pleasantly happy about that. So the event cards seem to be helping us out quite a bit. So I appreciate that part. Okay. We do the move battalion step, but just as a reminder, this card says do not perform operational move rolls. So the move battalion step gets skipped. Any commander that was on leave would recover stress. That is not the case here. We sent every commander into battle that we could. We adjust SO points, and so I'm currently sitting at 8, and the scenario gives me 8 more every week. So we get 8 more, which is nice. So that's my situation there. And then we do repair and replace. And so this is where it gets really tricky again. First of all, we have the Panther here that has 2 damage on him. Okay. I hope I don't have to show you the cards, but I have 2 mechanics and I have 2 medics. So with the 2 mechanics, I'm going to remove the hull and the suspension. I'm going to repair the Panther with my mechanics. So that's free. Okay. I have this Panzer II that just shot to hell and back. If I did repair anything, it would be these 2. The guns actually don't hurt him until I want to upgrade him. I don't have enough SO points to upgrade him to a better tank. So I'm just sort of like letting that commander just get experience points, and then that tank basically just sits in the garage while the battle goes on. Now this one, I do want to upgrade, and that's a problem. But it's going to cost me 4 SO points to do that upgrade. And so I'm going to just reserve the right to come back to this. And then I have gun damage on the other one, and I will pay 1 SO point. This is on our transport. So I'm going to pay 1 SO point to repair the other transport. So I can at least upgrade one of my transports if I have to. Okay, now as far as the medics go, we have a rifle team that has a casualty on it. So I'm going to use 1 of my points to remove that casualty, and that'll be gone. And then we have a commander who's wounded, and this was our transport commander. And so we're going to use another medic point to remove that. The medic points are great. Now, we could have used the medic points to remove 2 stress. I can't stress that enough, pun intended. But for now, we're going to do that. Now, what I want to do is I want to do priority R&R to remove 2 stress from everybody for 5 SO points. 5 SO points is such a huge price. I don't know what DVG was smoking. I mean, it only costs like 2 in Thunderbolt Apache Leader. Yeah, it just removes 2 stress from every commander. I think there's maybe a strategy to this game of just starting off with a bunch of riflemen that only have only cost 3 points each, and then growing your unit from there. But so if I wanted to upgrade to an anti-tank, I would go from 4 to 10. I need 6 points to do that. Okay, I have it, and then I even have enough left over to do tomorrow's missions. The problem is that the anti-tank that I want to use is this guy. He's the one I want to upgrade to an anti-tank. And I know it may seem like tomato. Actually, I could just switch them. Because I do have one that is fully healed. I could just do this one. I take that back. So I can get the anti-tank if I wanted to. Now, to get the To get the recon unit, I have to spend 3 more. It costs 9. And then I would only have 1 SO point left for tomorrow, which puts me in a bit of a pickle. The recon unit is awesome because of the command points, command tactics. He gives me 4 command tactics. So that means I can let other units go fast 4 times. It's huge, folks. I just think I need to wait 1 more week before I can do that. So if I take these 3 points back, the problem I'm still struggling with is that I gotta stop taking damage. I am going to spend 1 SO point to get rid of the glancing because I don't want to take the extra stress just to, bring the unit into battle. And so, yeah, my transport is going to get upgraded. I'm going to upgrade it to the anti-tank. And so this transport will go away. Give me a second while I try to figure out what's going on here with my stacks of cards. Yeah, so I just put that away, and I could always purchase it again later for 4 points if I really needed to. And what I'm getting is this, it's an anti-tank gun, and you can see he only has a defense value of 1, but he does armor-piercing attacks at a 5. Is it worth it? He's just as good as a transport in every way, except he just doesn't transport units. And he has a range of 1 to 3, and my commander gets a +3 bonus at range. So that's what I'm going to do. And yes, this is what hurts the most, is I'm losing 5 to give myself priority R&R. And if it wasn't for that tile, I could not have done the upgrade. So I'd be sitting here going into week 3 still without the ability to do an upgrade. This 8 points a week is just enough to get by. It's not enough to get ahead. And to be quite honest, all the other options we had, 8 points a week is one of the higher choices. I mean, just to give you perspective, like that one gives you 8 points a week. That one's only 5 points a week, but we would have gotten an extra 10 points to start. That's 8 points a week with extra points to start. I didn't pick this one because it sort of is a beginner's one. You do add, so basically the battalions do rush you in the beginning, so we get attacked, but then we get an extra attack die when we attack at range 0 for all units. I mean, that's ridiculously powerful. This one is only +7, and same amount of, and I think it says -29 battalion points, which is crazy. So the battalion points gets reduced, or no, I'm sorry, that is 27. That's actually a pretty low count. Destroy 2 or more the first week, and then 4 or more by the end of the second week, or the campaign ends in failure. If they would have retreated, like in our case, you would have lost the campaign. So we would have lost that campaign because they retreated. It's a little annoying, that one. This one, you get 10 points a week, which is fantastic, but you cannot purchase or replace or upgrade units during week 1 and 2. And everybody starts with 1 stress. I guess that's not bad. I mean, the 10 points a week is pretty awesome. You can't purchase, replace, or upgrade. Well, you know what? We just upgraded at the end of week 2, but that's only because we got lucky with that tile that gave us 5 points. That's actually doable. This one you get 0. It's that cut-off scenario. You get a whole bunch of points, and then you don't get any more points unless you destroy battalions. This one's actually a really difficult one. This one gives you +10. You start with 60, but you have to do 10 skill rank reductions. So all of your guys start 1 rank lower than they're supposed to. You do get a lot of nice SO points, but it's only a 4-week campaign. I didn't like that one. And slow is smooth. It only gives you 5 points a week, so that one stinks. Now, there was an elite one that was pretty awesome. What did I do with that one? Oh yeah, this one you only start with 40, but there you get 10 skill rank increases. That one's really nice. So anyways, I was contemplating that one. So we picked one that actually has a healthy weekly income, and we're still not, getting traction in terms of being able to buy new units because we're taking so much damage. Um, Now you could like I said, you could have not purchased the Panthers and gotten something cheaper. But which units are doing the killing for us? Is it the Panthers or is it the other stuff? The answer is the Panthers are the ones that are saving us. So um, I still don't. I struggle with the balance in this game. I really do. And anyways, you at least get to see the playthrough and learn from what I'm doing. Um, I'm still convinced that a unit like this Panther that hits with an AP attack of 4, because it's usually the armor targets that are the bigger threat to us, right? The Panther goes out, he hits with an armor attack of 4. Even the HE attack of 6 is not a great number, but if you have a nice commander that gives you a +3 to your attack roll, you're now hitting with a 3, even against soft targets, right? So you combine that with the recon unit. So you need a Panther, right? And then you need a recon unit. It gives you 4 command tactics. So 4 times in the game, this tank can attack fast and slow. So twice around, you're killing units. Bing, 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 bing. And he has a range of 3. He's just as good as any artillery in the game. So he's shooting 3 spaces away. He's more versatile. But the thing is he costs 15 for a reason. That's a hefty price. And this is 13. I mean, it's only 2 points cheaper to get this. But he now gives command. He gives out Pez. He's a Pez dispenser. He's giving out candy, so this guy can kill. And even if you look at him, his soft attack is 6. It's just as good as his. So the recon unit can go out there and mop up the soft targets, right? And you can see he has a speed of 2, so he moves 2 spaces whenever he moves around the board. So he's faster than the Panther, and he can hit the soft targets just as well as the Panther, assuming his commander gives him the bonus. And in our case, the commander is actually the commander we have set aside for him right now is at +0, but that will change soon. So that's the idea. That's my strategy to the game. But gosh darn it, that was an expensive 2 units right there. That was 20 some points out of your, you just saw you start the game with like 50. And then, this USA Italy gave 40 more. So you get maybe 90 to start. And you're trying to get enough units so you could take on 2 battalions a week. We're taking on 2 battalions a week right now with 5 units each. And we're getting pelted. So I don't know what the right balance is, folks, but you're at least seeing how I try to play these. And we're at least keeping our head above water. We're just not... and I did technically just upgrade one of my units to the anti-tank gun, so maybe I should stop complaining. I'm doing as my strategy set out to do. I just feel like I should be in better shape than I am at the moment. All right. Priority R&R. So I get to remove 2 SO for everybody who does priority R&R. Unlike other games, you don't get to add the cool value. It's just you remove 2. That's all you do. The cool value in this game only reduces the stress you get from the battle itself. So every battle gives you 2 stress, no matter which battle you do. And the cool value is just reducing how much of that stress you get for each battle. You don't get to just reduce stress like you do in the other ones. Like if you go into a mission with 3 stress, you have a cool value of 2 and the mission only gave you 1 stress, you could actually reduce your stress by 2 because of your cool value. And I'm talking like Hornet Leader or some of the other games. This game doesn't work that way. The cool value is only... Every mission is 2 stress. If you have a cool value of 2, that means you don't get stress from the mission. You may get stress for other reasons, but not from the mission. And so when you have a cool value of 0, you're constantly, adding to your stress, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so by doing what I just did, I still have 1 shaken commander, and that is the Panzer II commander, which we're not worried about. The Albrecht, which is the transport commander, he's also shaken. He's almost unfit, but he's shaken. He had 7 before we started this. We just took away 2. And I'm looking at all the other ones. Everybody else is okay. So the priority R&R definitely paid off. We have 2 guys that are shaken now. I think we had like 4 that were shaken before, and all the other ones were on the verge of being shaken. So it cost us 5 points, folks, but I think it was worth it. All right, couple of things. We still destroyed our battalions, even though we had to put an asterisk next to that one mission. We have some great cards that are going to help us in the future. We have, I'm talking event cards. Oh, this is destroyed. So we're sitting on 10 victory points at the end of 2 weeks. We need 16 to get out of Dismal. So we still have 6 more weeks to go. So I wouldn't worry about the fact that we're not out of Dismal yet. But we're sitting on 10, and we got to get to 40. So 6 more weeks. 6 times 5 is 40. I need 5 victory points a week. That's a tall order. And so at some point, we're going to have to probably take on more than 2 battalions at a shot. Or I'm going to have to start going after some of those victory point tiles that we draw from time to time. I think in the early stages, it's all about survival. And we're just trying to beat back anything that's making us lose SO points, which we successfully did. And, from here on out, we can start to get more into the luxury realm of, hey, let's destroy this because that helps us, or let's destroy that because it helps us. I still want to point out that we have this juicy. We gain 6 SO points if we destroy this battalion. The problem is I can't go after him because he's protected by this one, because that guy that gives us the 6 SO points is in the enemy breakthrough area. So we have to destroy this one first before we can get to that one. And see, that one has 2 mortars and 2 anti-tank guns. That looks like something we can maybe take out as a 3rd battalion, because he's only worth 1 victory point, and he's pretty crappy. But those 2 anti-tank guns are going to be brutal if you try to approach it with your Panthers. So the mortars are going to be brutal if you try to approach it with your infantry, but I think that's what we would want to do, is maybe go with the infantry force after him. And then we have this one. They both do the same thing. So we'd have to wipe out the machine gun nest and the artillery support before we can go after the juicy one that gives us 6 SO points. So these 2 are in our way, preventing us from being able to do that. And a lot of other stuff is in our way as well. We got to be able to destroy those. So I know I got into a little bit of soapboxing at the end here, but that brings us to the end of 2 weeks. Like I said, a good week, and the biggest victory of all on this particular video is my camera didn't quit once. So whatever I did, it worked. And I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that whatever caused it to stop working doesn't happen again, because I'm not sure what I did. But I'm just thankful for it. Thank you all so much. Stay healthy and safe in these crazy times. And as always, stay awesome.